circulatory system. So it is kind of getting advanced, but still simple as compared to the higher chordates. It consists of the mainly blood vessels, which are contractile in nature. There is no dedicated heart. Only the vessel at one point are enlarged and more stronger, strongly equipped with their muscular mass, so they can pump the blood from either direction in the body. So the basic circulatory system consists of the two types of the veins. You see the one aorta is running beneath the alimentary canal or the intestine all the way from tail to the head. So this is called the ventral aorta. Okay, because it is on the ventral side. Then there is another main blood vessel which is running from the tail towards the head on the upper side. So this is called the dorsal aorta, and the dorsal aorta bifurcates into two lateral aortae in the pharyngeal region. Okay? From the pharyngeal region, you see there are two different veins which are originating from the one dorsal aorta, and they are running along the pharyngeal region, running towards the head. Right, and near the head region, these two vessels are basically connected with the ventral vessel. You see these branches, so they are running down and attaches connecting to the ventral aorta, both sides. So this way, the vessels on the dorsal side are connected to the ventral side, and also you see some branches in the pharyngeal region, aorta. Right, so these branches are basically connecting these two on the both sides, on the both lateral sides of the animal. Then there is a blood vessel running backwards, passes along this hepatic sac, right? And since it is basically the same vessel, but because it is running in the hepatic region, we call it the hepatic portal vein. So this is the hepatic portal vein. Then when it reaches in the intestinal region and it is under the intestine, so we call it the subintestinal vein. In the middle of the body, so this is the enlarged part of the blood vessel, which is called sinus venosus, or you can simply say it the heart. If you, although the whole blood vessels are contractile and they have peristaltic movement to push the blood from one point to another point, but the major support is provided by this contractile part, which functions as the heart. So that was all about the structure, and now we'll see the blood flow and the directions of the blood flow. So if we start from the heart, the sinus venosus, it pushes the blood towards the head. The blood moves forward and comes in the pharyngeal region, and from the pharyngeal region it passes on towards the head. Once it reaches to the head region, the blood is pumped towards the dorsal side of the dorsal aorta. These are two lateral aortae, and from the pharyngeal region the blood also moves upward towards the lateral aortae, right? And then the blood is collected in this part, and from the lateral aorta the movement of the blood is reversed from one direction to the another, sorry, from forward towards the backward, right? So the blood moves back and comes at this junction, and then these two both vessels connect together to make one dorsal aorta, and dorsal aorta take the blood towards the end towards the along the intestine towards the tail, and from the tail region it is again connected to the ventral aorta, right? But at this point, this is called the Sep Intestinal Vein, as I have already explained. So the blood comes from the dorsal aorta to the subintestinal vein, it moving towards the heart, and before that it reaches to this part of the vein, which is the hepatic portal vein. It collects the blood and then reaches back to the heart. So this is the complete cycle of the blood flow. So along this way, this blood basically collects all the waste materials from this hepatic region, undigested waste materials that diffuses into the blood, right? And then from this hepatic region, the digested food comes into this blood that is taken towards the whole part of the body. And anybody can have an idea that why this excessive branching in the pharyngeal region is present. What is the function of these capillaries or small branches, which are called bronchial veins? So this is the respiratory part of the animal's body. So once the blood moves through these bronchial veins, the oxygen is diffused into the blood from the water, and CO2 or other waste gases are exchanged outside. The blood again here is colorless, because there is no need for the pigments that can carry the gases. It's basically easier to diffuse all those gases.